as I was watching that scene, if you didn't already know was the bad guy, I was like, you know what gives it away? The pizza cut into squares.
Ilias guy. I mean, if that's not enough, in the Riri scene, he's eating it with a knife and fork. I think.
Is he
Like
really?
yeah, like it's like basic bitch pizza. It's like, yeah, total villain.
What's going on, everyone? I am Phil, along here with Joe.
Hey Phil, hey everyone, how's it going?
Good. So we are talking Ironheart today, the Disney Plus series that just completed its run in the last 2 weeks.
In record time. It's like, oh wait, no, apologies. Echoes the horse to beat in this one. Uh, One and done.
Yeah. Um, so what did you think of it? I was about to say Lionheart, but that's not what we're talking about.
You made the same slip before as we were talking, and I was sure that that Lionheart was a reference to the Care Bears, like the leader of the Care Bears. He's a lion. I thought his name was Lionheart. It's got to be, right. He's a lion. He's got a heart on his chest. No, I think it's something like Gary the lion, Gary the lion that cares. Anyway, not Lionheart, Ironheart. Although her dad at some point calls her Ironhead, and I was like,
Yeah,
"What's going on?" Like, have you read any of the Ironheart stuff?
I have actually. So, um, I have read the original, which I think she was Iron Man for a while. So like it was Invincible Iron
Oh,
Man.
and she was going by Iron Man.
She
Just
was going by Iron Man.
okay.
This was back in the 2010s, I want to say, and I I don't remember if Tony Stark was dead at this point. He may have been dead. Um, but there were two Iron Men. Uh, One was Riri Williams, who was Invincible Iron Man, and then Doctor Doom was the other Iron Man, the infamous Iron Man.
Oh my god, I love that. That's kind of like what they did with Spider-Man, where Doctor Octopus was controlling him
Yeah,
for a couple of years. That's awesome. Was it fun? Was it a good read?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed both series. So I was a little bit I was familiar with Riri Williams and her version of Iron Man. Um, the while there are like elements that they take from those runs, and I haven't read her since, so I don't know anything more recent. But there are elements that they brought to the series, but in a different way, which I thought was interesting. So I guess first of all, let's say spoiler time
Spoiler time.
because I was
Ironheart
about to drop
style.
a spoiler.
Yeah, drop it. Just say the name. Just hit him with it right
Well,
away.
I wasn't going to go
No,
there
not that
yet.
one. Not that one.
Uh, Not the big spoiler, not the ending
Yeah.
spoiler, but so her AI that she
Right.
creates, um,
Natalie, which stands
yeah.
for
Oh, I don't remember that one.
nice, awesome, uh, tenacious, awesome again. I don't know. Natalie, it stands for something, but it stands for her dead best friend.
Yeah. So in the comics, her AI is Tony Stark.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's what makes me think that Tony Stark was like dead at this point in the comics continuity. But it was nice like seeing them bring back like that kind of element.
Yeah.
Because in Invincible Iron Man, like the AI Tony Stark is kind of like a mentor to Riri as she becomes Iron Man.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. And I agree. It's cool that they had something like that and something that actually tied her emotional story back into to what was happening and everything.
Yeah.
And it gave plenty of opportunities for her to have those flashbacks of her father and Natalie dying. Um, and I liked the two of them together. They were really great. And it almost made it feel like Natalie and the suit were different. Like
Yeah.
there were two of them. In fact, there were times where they were both doing. There's like two people on a mission, and that helps to give um, Riri her own identity, which is great.
Yeah. So what did you think of the series overall?
Okay, I liked it at first. I was like, "This is fine." The first 3 episodes dropped, and I watched them all over the course of like 2 days, and I was like, "Yeah, this is good. I'm into it. I'm ready to see what's next." And then they dropped the last three, and I got real mad at the fourth episode. And then I was like, on the fifth episode, I was like, "All right, things are fine." And the sixth episode, I was like, "This is the sixth episode is the best of the series," and it really got me excited about the character and her influence on the larger world. But she's the least interesting thing about the show, I think. I liked the Hood. I liked his whole gang presence. Like he's a gangster, and his
Did
story
you
was
like
great.
did you like his hood? Did you like how it looked on him?
We're not going to get to that right now because we could
Okay.
do a
All right.
whole episode about
Put a
that.
pin on that.
I liked his story. I would have loved a whole episode flashback of why he became the Hood, how he became the Hood. I know we get that eventually, but I would have liked it if we were like, pause on this. Let's dig in, and then it'll give better context later. I liked him, and I thought the gang was fun, and the fact when they become like adversaries at a point, that's great.
Yeah.
I loved the what was her name? So she goes to like a candy shop, and at the candy shop is her mother's
Yeah.
friend's daughter, who is I mean, what's the correct term? She's witch sensitive. She's magic sensitive.
Yeah.
Is she a witch?
Um, she's a non-muggle. Is that am I using that term correctly?
Yes. Let's
Okay.
yeah. Let's say this in language that people can understand. She's a non-muggle. Um, I loved her. I thought she was great, and I was glad that she was a real character. Um, and I would love to see more of her. I would love to see more of the Hood. And then the guy that shows up in the last episode, like, drops a bomb on the whole thing. Like, he elevates it. Like, I was like, this is crazy. It's so good watching him talk to people, and he's going to be a major player later, like as it goes on. So I liked all of that. Riri didn't pop the way I wanted her to. Like, I don't feel so connected to her until that last episode, but until the last scene. But we'll talk about that in a minute. What was your overall with the show?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I wasn't sure what to expect from Ironheart because the at least the comics that I've read with Riri Williams, um, there was never like it was never really like technology versus magic kind of thing.
Right.
Um, and I don't
It
know if
was
that
all
that
technology.
it was all technology. I don't know if it comes
Yeah.
in later or just like an arc that I didn't read or haven't read. So like I didn't know what to expect, and I thought the pairing of her and the Hood was an interesting choice because I kind of know the Hood as a character because he pops up in a bunch of you know Avengers issues and whatnot. So the Hood is actually a Brian K. Vaughan character from I want to say like the 2000s.
Who who did he originally show up with? Who was his original nemesis? Was it Spider Man? Was it
I
Daredevil?
think I think the Hood first shows up in his own miniseries.
He's like, I'm the star.
Yeah,
I want to be the king. Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's cool. It's called The Hood.
I think it's called The Hood. Yeah, it's a miniseries by Brian K. Vaughan, and I can picture the art, but I can't picture the name of the guy who drew the art. But yeah, I enjoyed Ironheart as a whole. I'm curious to see where it's going. Obviously, uh, with the character they introduced in the last episode, has far-reaching consequences into the MCU as a whole. I think.
That's fun. Do you think they'll bring The Hood back?
I mean, I think so. I think they're definitely setting up that the Hood will be back from that post-credit scene in the last episode. I have to say now though, like he does not look great in that hood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So poor guy. It's Anthony Ramos is playing the Hood.
Yeah,
He's wonderful. He's from
he's
Hamilton.
great.
He's from, yeah, he's great. He
He's in
even made that
Transformers.
Transformers movie come to life. He was great in that. He was a great human in the Transformer world. Um, but he's great in everything he does. So when I heard he was playing the Hood, I was on board. I was like, this is great.
Yeah,
And
so was I.
he came to play too. Like he's good in this in every scene he's in. But I mean, who could have made that Hood work?
Right,
like
like,
he
it's like it's just so, like, it feels so out of place because he's like gangster, like, he's leading this crew, and the first time you see him, like, he's just wearing it, which is
yeah.
fine, like, that's it, like, his character name is the Hood, so he should have a hood. It just looks weird on him.
It's strange just watching him walk around with it on. And there was a point at where like he didn't have it on, and I was like, this is how you do it. Like you have him put it on when he's ready to go, when he's ready to get down to business. But like he should not be wearing it all the time. Like how great? Like does the Hood have to wear it all the time though in the comics? Like are there shots of him like coming out of the bathroom like washing his hands? He's got the Hood on, or like standing at a urinal like hoods up everybody. I
Well,
like
I think in the comics, like, the Hood is the actual, like, garment is a lot, like, rattier, like, it's more, like,
oh
frayed on the edges and things like that,
yeah
which I don't know that that would have been a better choice.
yeah. Is it okay? Is it rattier, or have people just been cutting pieces off of it secretly for years and years and years, like Riri does, obviously in the third episode or something? Um, it's true. The Hood, the look isn't. It doesn't work, but only because it's a old Hood.
Yeah, like Anthony Ramos looks great like without the hood. Like the something about him in the hood makes him like feel smaller.
Well, sure, I could see that. Yeah,
Um, but again, I don't know what you do because unless you do like a spawn from like the motion picture cape where it's like CGI and flowing constantly.
oh my God, I am here for that. Okay, so there was an NBC show 20 years ago called I think The Cape.
Oh, the cape, yeah.
Was that a CGI jam too, where he was just a guy like in a unitard and they would put on like this fake cape that was flowing? I can't
I mean,
remember.
I can't imagine that they that well, I mean, an NBC show probably has like a budget, but I can't
Right.
imagine that they had enough budget that like a character who's the title character who's in practically every shot has a CGI cape in every scene.
It's true. He doesn't. He's where I'm looking at pictures now. Everyone Google NBC The Cape and you'll see what I see, which is always fun. But he's got a real cape on and a real hood and it looks fine. I mean, not all the time, but he's standing next to a cop in this one. It does not look good. Anyway, NBC The Cape. That was a great moment in time. What did you think of the rest of the cast? What did you think of Alden Ehrenreich, who was Solo, of course? Um,
I did not remember him in Solo.
okay. Are you a one
Like
and done with Solo?
I like um I would say 0.75 and done with Solo.
Wow.
I definitely fell asleep during Solo.
And you're like, I'll never return to fill the cracks. Like, what I
Well,
missed is what I was meant to miss all along.
I feel like and we're not doing a Solo video, but like I felt like that movie was like unnecessary in many ways.
Yeah,
Like it
sure.
filled in a lot of like gaps that didn't need to be filled.
But haven't you forever been wondering, how did Han Solo meet Chewbacca? Wasn't that one of the things that kept you up at night? Of course not. They're
I
just people.
mean,
They met each other. It's not a big deal.
not a whole lot like a lot of things don't keep me up at night because I fell asleep during the movie.
There you go. That says it right there. All right, I'm a Solo apologist. I enjoy that movie, and we should watch it one day and talk about it. But he's also good in and lots of other things that he does. He's good in this.
Yeah,
Spoiler time, of course, but he plays okay. He plays Joe,
yeah.
just the weird guy that needs help from Riri, and then
Or we really
it's
needs help from him, actually.
oh, that's right, because he's Joe, the tech guy. He's got a connection. It turns out that he's the son of Obadiah Stane. In that scene, I was like, Joe Stain. Ugh. And then in my head, I was trying to put anything with Stain. Nothing sounds good. So when he's like, "My name's Ezekiel," I was like, "Better." But right before he said it, I was like, "Oh, why couldn't his name be Jobadiah Stain?" I like that, but whatever. His name is Ezekiel Stain. I was like, "That's better." And he's like, "But all my friends call me Zeke." And I was like, "You dropped right back down." Like Zeke Stain? Oh, it sounds like I don't know.
Zeke
It sounds
Stain
bad.
sounds like you dropped a drink on your pants.
Oh, Zeke Stain!
Remember Zeke Stain?
Terrible name. There's no coming back from it, really. But when he gets when he takes the fall for Riri and like he goes to prison and then Hood comes to him, you think Hood's gonna kill him, but he embraces him and takes him into his team and turns him into what he wanted to be, like this like all like souped up tech guy.
Yeah,
And then he's great. And then the whole all his story, like where Hood can control him, and he has to fight that fight where he has to fight Riri, and he's out of control. They're talking to each other about how to beat him,
yeah,
but he's not in control. I thought
yeah,
that was so much fun. It suffers from what She-Hulk called out in the She-Hulk show, where it's like all these things, as complicated as their stories may be, they always end up the same way. Superhero, like big major fight with someone's whose powers are either the same and escalated or the exact opposite. I mean, I don't know. That made me sad because I was like, oh, I liked that part of Ironheart. I liked it when they did the thing they're not supposed to do, quote unquote. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I just felt bad
yeah.
a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like a superhero show. It's gonna end with a fight. Like,
Yeah,
I think that's how we kind of all expect it. And like in She-Hulk, um, people expect it, and or I I want to say people expect it, but like I think the the people making the show think that people expect the show to end with a fight like that. I think is where my thought was going with that.
they thought they were going to think that, so they thought about thinking about it. We
Yeah,
lost everybody. Everyone just that's the sound of people clicking off this YouTube.
I think we need a chart to figure out what I just said.
Right. 100%.
But I don't mind it, and like it ends that last episode ends with like two fights, um, and a conversation basically.
Yeah. Two fights and a conversation. Um, let's talk about the last episode
Yes,
because well, in the episode before, we get the reveal that spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Sacha Baron Cohen shows up and plays a major character. I mean, I want to say spoiler 10 more times before I we actually say the character's name because like people have been waiting for this. It's been boiling for so long, right?
people have been waiting since at least WandaVision, which
Yeah.
was what, like 20, it was like 2020,
20.
right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the character is, you want to
Spoiler,
say it or should
spoiler,
I?
spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. You said.
Mephisto.
Well, I was talking about somebody else. No,
Oh,
of course, it's Mephisto. It's crazy that he shows up, right? Like, even though you kind of expected it, like when he says his name finally, and
yeah,
they sort of give you a few red herrings. They're like, oh, that he might be Dormammu or
Mama, yeah.
whatever. Or because Dormammu was the owner of the Hood in the comic, right?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he gives Parker Robbins the Hood.
Yeah. So
I will
it would make sense, but
I will
that
say, like, obviously, like, because that episode I think starts off with a flashback, to when Parker Robbins meets Mephisto, and he gives him the offer. Um, I was thinking as I was watching that scene, like, oh, like if you didn't know, like if you didn't already know Sacha Baron Cohen was the bad guy, I was like, you know what gives it away? The pizza cut into squares. But then I remembered, oh wait, This show takes place in Chicago. That's what
Yeah,
they do there.
they're in Chicago where that nonsense is normal. No, thank you, says two East Coast boys. Cut ours into triangles, please.
Yeah,
All right, quick aside, real quick aside. We used to go to Chicago every year to do conventions, and
yeah.
there was one year where we drove out, and it was just the two of us. This would have been 25 years ago at least, right?
This was, I want to say, like, it was 1998.
Right. So we're a
This
couple
was
of
our first trip
youngsters.
out to Chicago.
It was the first one. Okay.
Yeah,
Our silly little minds were blown. So we're driving out there, and we go out there. We're so excited about the show and everything. And at the end of the day, we're like, oh, we should order dinner. Let's get a pizza. We're both on board with that. We like it. The pizza comes. We're very excited to eat. We open it up, and it's cut to these tiny. I think they call it. I mean, these tiny little squares. I think it's called tavern style. Is that right?
yeah.
Okay.
Or a
And
party
this
cut, I think is what it's called
party
also.
cut. Oh, jeez. And we have since learned that like this is the way Chicagoans really
Oregon,
love their
yeah.
pizza. Like they don't like the whole deep dish thing isn't something they identify with. The
It's a
Shikoigans
tourist
are,
thing.
yeah, deep dish is a trap for tourists and a delicious trap, by the way. But and I would eat that anytime over this tavern style nonsense. But we opened it up and we were like, what the hell? I was
How did they mess up cutting the pizza so wrong?
right. You imagine you cut a line, you're like, oh, that was all wrong. Let me try it this way. Oh my god, what's going on? You just like checkerboard it up. They were small. They were like an inch maybe, inch and a half. They were so
Yeah,
small, and we ate it like we weren't complaining. But I mean, I was complaining. It was such a culture shock for us as two guys that have never been to Chicago before. That were
yeah,
just kind of like, how do you mess up pizza? They did it, and it could be the best way to eat pizza, but I will never forgive them for shocking me that day. So
yeah. But yeah, that's how you knew he was a bad guy.
100%. Look at this guy. I mean, if that's not enough, in the Riri scene, he's eating it with a knife and fork. I think. Like yeah, like it's like basic bitch pizza. It's like, yeah, total villain.
I'm gonna cut this square into smaller squares.
I need it to be a bite-sized square. Oh, jeez. So I love a square pizza too, like a Sicilian or a grandma pizza.
Yeah,
But this it was the thin crust, cheese all the way to the edge. I mean, it sounds pretty good right now that I'm talking
we are
about it. But
alienating all of
I know.
our Midwest contingent.
Apologies, but you'll hate us even more when we start talking about your hot dogs. Let's get into it. Let's not get into it. So Mephisto shows up, and his scenes are really strong. I was really, like I was saying earlier, like he elevated everything. He and Ramos together were fantastic. And the scene with Riri, where you're like, she sits down and just like, oh, he's just gonna try to get her to sell her soul, and she's not gonna do it
Yeah,
because she's a good person. And spoiler, 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 but when she takes the deal, I was like, holy crap, that's the move. That's what you want. You don't want this to be a boring play. Like you want to see the worst thing happen. Like give us that Empire cliffhanger where everything's bad or the worst thing happens, and you like then it ripples out into the rest of the universe.
yeah. I will say that choice has much more like broad story like possibilities than her doing what is expected of every other hero that would be put in that position, which is refusing. Um, like this makes for a much more interesting story. It makes her a much more interesting character. Although if you look back at all of her choices, like leading up to the end of the season, like she makes terrible choices.
She is
From the
she's a
beginning.
fountain. Yeah, she's a fountain of bad choices constantly. Like, yeah, gets herself kicked out of school, joins a
Yeah,
gang. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, she's doing one
But
bad thing after another.
it does track for her character, and like it makes sense for her character. Although I guess the argument can be made that what's her arc then? You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Um,
How did
I
she
mean,
change?
right. She will not get an Ironheart 2. I was say maybe her arc's not complete. We're not going to see it in Ironheart 2, but like Could we see the completion of her arc in Doomsday or in Young Avengers or
I mean, we could, yeah.
yeah. Um, so she made that choice, and I was surprised by it. But why was I surprised by it? Because this sort of thing happened in the Spider-Man comic, right? In One More Day, yeah,
Yeah, One More Day. So One More Day is kind of a like a maligned Spider-Man arc. Um, it was in the Michael Straczynski era. Um, it might have. I don't know if it was his last arc. I don't think it was, but um,
they kicked him out after that, right?
so from my understanding, like that arc was supposed to go differently than ended up being. Um, so this was post Civil War in the comics, where Peter Parker had revealed his identity to everyone, like as a part of Civil War. By the end of One More Day, his identity is secret again. Um, but Peter Parker did not go to Mephisto and say, "Hey, can you put that genie back in a bottle for me?"
Yeah,
He did not say that. Um, the deal he made with Mephisto, who's the literal devil in the Marvel universe, um, I think Aunt May gets shot or something like that. She gets hurt in some way, and she's dying. And the One More Day, the literal One More Day, is basically um, Peter trading something for May to live, Aunt May to live. The thing that Mephisto wants is his marriage.
because he wants like the rest of us, he wants Mary Jane. He's been crushing for years. He's like ever since issue 298 where she was wearing that green dress or whatever.
Ever since she was a teenager,
Ew.
it is
Mephisto's
Mephisto.
a
He's kind of
creep. He's like, I can be a creep. I'm old. I'm the devil.
he's
I could be a
he is
creep.
older than everyone in the Marvel
Yeah.
universe, I think. But I mean, for many reasons, like that story arc did not connect with fans. I'd say um, majority of it is because it did end Peter's relationship with Mary Jane, which is, I mean, they had been married for like probably like at least 15 years at that point in real time. So people just got used to them being married. And the fact that like he gave up his marriage for Aunt May, who is very old in the comics, at least in the main Marvel universe. And like, I mean, she was gonna die anyway. Like, she's
Yeah.
gonna die eventually.
She's got like a week left, bro. Just let her die.
But like, my understanding of how the original arc was supposed to go was, um, it was gonna be one tweak that changed, that rippled out throughout Peter's life, and it was bringing back Harry Osborn, who I think is still dead in this universe. I don't remember.
Okay. That's pretty
Um,
cool.
yeah,
But they
but
decided
instead it
not
was
to do that.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I will say that the One More Day did lead into Brand New Day, which is actually the title of the next Spider-Man movie, which I don't think it'll have anything to do with the actual Brand New Day arc. Um, but it made Peter such a more vibrant character in like Brand New Day forward, because he feels younger, like he's not married anymore. It breathed new life into Peter Parker as a character, which like was always the intent.
Yeah.
They went about it in a weird way, which kind of alienated a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a hard thing to do. The character that old that everyone wants to be. Everyone wants this character to be a 16-year-old kid forever. Do you know what I mean? But it just he'd just been through so much, so it made sense to have some sort of wild shift. But to tie it back to Ironheart, Peter Parker is this character that always does the hard thing. He always does what's right, even if it is the hard thing, I should say.
Yeah,
So for him to make a deal with the devil, how is that? I mean, I guess that is the definition of doing the hard thing for to help somebody. But like,
yeah,
it's weird. Like he made that decision. So why am I surprised that Riri made that decision?
yeah. I mean, it's interesting because there are parallels between One More Day and the end of Ironheart, because presumably Riri like takes the deal to bring back Natalie, um, and like in the same way that Peter makes the deal to bring back Aunt May. And I like was it your impression that like Riri was like, oh, like bring back Natalie the AI, not bring back Natalie the person?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. There's a typo on the contract. And she's like, "Ay, oh my god, this is gonna cause some trouble." Yeah, it was my impression. Yeah, as you put.
Yeah,
Will we? Okay. Will since Ironheart was a quote unquote failure, like it got review bombed, and like there are people out there that legitimately hate it, even people that went in wanting to like it. Like it did not go over so great. Even though there were a lot of people. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. So, do you think we'll get any kind of resolution to the Natalie coming back? Or is there just as much chance that this won't get mentioned the same way we'll never hear from the Eternals again? Or, 100
yeah.
different loose ends? Like, is this just another one?
I don't know. I hope not, just because it is such like fertile story ground that
Yeah.
they've set up. Like the whole consequences of her taking the deal and all that stuff. Like it, I really want to see what happens next. Like, and it, I don't, I don't know. Like, I guess they might weave her story arc into like other like I don't know shows or whatnot. In the same way that I think Chris Claremont wrote Ms. Marvel, like maybe before he wrote Uncanny X-Men.
Okay.
Um, and like at one point, Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, becomes like a secondary character in the X-Men
Yeah. Yeah.
book. So like you follow her story throughout that. So like I could kind of see like them introducing Riri into like Young Avengers or whatever, and then like dealing it with that's the fallout there.
I mean, we talked a little bit off stream, especially after the Thunderbolts came out, what the Sam Wilson Avengers might look like. And
Yeah,
we have not shared like our picks, but I mean Riri might be on my team, so I
yeah.
might put her in there. But so I would love to see that. I'd love to see her continue on there. But I mean, Young Avengers is a more natural fit and truer to the comics. Maybe was she part of the Young Avengers or the Champions or
I think she was part of Champions, but not the Young Avengers.
okay? Well, I agree. I certainly hope it's not the last we see of her,
Yeah.
or the last we see of Jobadiah Stane. He was cool. I hope he comes back in the hood. Everybody, that's great. And I can't remember her name, but the girl that plays the young witch,
Yeah.
she's great. It's a great
Yeah.
cast. Bring them all back.
Yeah. Bring back. Let's do an Ironheart season 2.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
let's get
You and
the
I. Let's go.
let's get the
Do
gang
it right now.
together. Yeah. All right. I'll be. The Let's see. Maybe we should get somebody else.
You mean we're not going to like be like in Shakespeare times when like we were playing all the parts and like dressed as female and
Yeah. I mean, no kissing scenes, right? No. All right, we've officially reached the end of all Ironheart discussion. Unless you want to break down that Care Bear, he should be named
I
Ironheart.
you mean Lionheart.
Lionheart.
All right. So what did you guys think of Ironheart season 1? Let us know in the comments below. Um, and I don't know. I feel like there might be more Ironheart in us. Like as we shut down this particular video, we might come back for another one, just like we did with Thunderbolts 3 times.
Right, we'll be back because no one demanded it. Here's more Ironheart conversation.
But be sure to like and subscribe, and we will catch you all in the next one.